This chart depicts the different waves for the FIAR deadlines. And as you can see, the first arrow is pointing to the military department's government furnished mission critical assets existence and completeness audit readiness. And that has gone on since 2013. And that portion of it completes at the end of this year, at the end of this fiscal year. October 1st is coming up quickly. In fact, it's next Sunday. So what we're going to see, I believe, within the government community and therefore into the contracting community is that DoD consolidated full financial statement audit, which will then be flowed down to the contractors to make sure that we too have the property that they say we have. So what is that mission critical asset existence and completeness audit? Well, they needed to improve the audit readiness of information that is essential for their management of their mission critical assets, including items, their military equipment, or, as you can see there, any inventory, operating supplies, and the general equipment that's used to handle their military equipment, etc. And that the financial management asset information, which is where our unique item identifier comes in, the category type, the location, what the description of the item, all the data elements that we're becoming used to supplying the government when we have some property information to report. All of that goes into the accountable property system of record, which is the government's main record now, understanding that contractors only have stewardship records. And it's important for them to audit itself. So the government's audit of itself, but it also includes those items at the contractors. And it's required per the FAR 52.245.1 GP clause that data passed to the registry to support the APSR records includes all GFE, both serially managed transaction reporting and our receipt reporting for non-serially managed items. So now, the reality is that DoD has to account for all serially managed assets. The system for doing that is the item unique identification process, where they capture the data that's required for legacy assets, which are the assets that were built years and years ago that may be in our hands, maybe in the government's hands, maybe on bases, etc. The GFP that are definitely in the contractor's hands, and those newly acquired items, which you'll see that 7003 clause in, where the government is getting the information as soon as the item is required. The industry best practice for quickly and cost efficiently identifying, marking, and tracking critical assets is this 2D data matrix, and that's why it's important that the government and the contractors provide the information. This particular symbol here, that if you have not or are not familiar with the 2D data matrix symbol, contains the asset information, the UII, and other information that's required as part of the data feed to the government. Automated serialized item identification helps with audit readiness, and it is accelerated within the FIAR timeline. This mark must last the lifetime of the item, and it's imperative that it do so because that's part of the requirements within the clause. Well, the non-serially managed items, although they do not have a UII, is in fact reported through IRAP and the government to provide the fact that some material, typically material type items, does exist, and it's received through IRAP.